States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Moving on to roll call.
Frank Myers.
Here.
Donna Roush.
Here.
Martha Patterson.
Here.
Casey Benner.
Here.
Leanne Woldvogel.
Yes.
Okay. So moving on to approval of agenda for tonight's meeting for July 20th of 2020.
I make a motion to approve the agenda. I second it.
I have a motion and a second. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Okay. Approval of minutes from the last meeting on June 15th of 2020.
I make a motion that we approve the minutes of June 15, 2020.
I second that.
I have a motion and a second. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Okay. Moving on to the introduction of evidence.
I have here the city ordinances, the design guidelines, and then you have hard copies of the staff reports and associated materials in front of you, in addition to what I sent you last week.
I move to accept the evidence as presented.
I second.
I have a motion and a second. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Okay, so we are going to move on with old business, which is SGHC 023-20 to receive a certificate of appropriateness to install a carport in the rear yard at 183 South 3rd Street.
So this is a carryover from a certificate application we tabled a month ago. The applicants also supplied a sample, if anybody wants to look at it. Ms. Woldvogel looked at it, but it is here. And then I added additional material to your staff packet for review.
Do we have any additional questions?
I'd like to ask a question. Would you consider just a pad?
No,
It doesn't.
that's what I have now.
Well, okay. I think you've done a wonderful business. I think it just contributes so much to sustainability. But I just cannot support a carport like that on the old asphalt. I just think we should protect it. And I'm sorry to feel that way. I really am, but that's how I feel.
I make a motion that we accept, because if you read through visual impact, and it's not going to be connected to the building, they park a van there anyway, so you're still blocking Ice House.
One thing, though, that I think is going to change is that parking in the back has probably become a lot more popular once the museum opens.
That parking is private property. The only thing that can be parked there when the museum opens is a bus, period.
And it does say, if you're going to put one, put it to the back and to the side.
That's
I understand that.
That's talking about.
That is on the easement that is for the museum, which is a separate easement than the property of Stan Winkler's and myself and Ann's property. All those have separate easements.
To me, this is two separate things. The property that we're talking about, the front of the building, is a contributing structure. And unfortunately, he got stuck with a piece of property in the back of him, which is a national landmark, not a national. It's a landmark. And when we talk about where we can put a fence, we're talking about the 3rd Street property. I mean, a carport. And to me, that has nothing to do with where they want to put it for the Ice House. If it could be put on next to his building on 3rd Street, that would be wonderful, but evidently he can't put it there.
Tom,
That's
do you mind
just,
stepping to the podium?
that's just how I feel.
When you're through discussing.
I think, did you hear, Ms. Spence? Whenever you want to address, go ahead and step up to the podium. Thank you.
So I do have a motion to approve the certificate of appropriateness based on our guidelines, which are A13 and P7 in our guideline book. Do I have a second?
If you're going to go by your feelings and the way it should, and not by the ordinances, then that dilutes the quality and care that you're doing to the historic buildings in this community. Feelings should have nothing to do with it. It's rules and regulations, and that's what this commission is here to enforce.
Yeah, I feel really differently. What if the Green Tree Pattern wanted to put a shed by their property? Would we be setting a precedent here? How could you say no to someone else?
I don't normally question well-designed carports, but in this situation, we're trying to build up the image of the community for tourism, and I don't care what color you build up, a tin metal shed is not a great hoaxer of tourism. I mean, it just won't work. And your shop is one of the ones that will benefit if we get more tourism. And it should, because it's a great shop. But I've never said anything about any of your businesses so far, but this one is just a little dizzy. It was on the other side of the building where the people couldn't see it, fine, but it wouldn't suit your purposes. And
I'm just asking for an interpretation of the rules, not opinions. Thank you.
So I do have a motion. I will second an approval based on the guidelines do not satisfy a denial for the requested carport, based on our guidelines that we have. So we have a motion and a second. All in favor? Aye. Any opposed?
Aye.
Leanne?
Is this a accurate description, accurate photograph of the carport as it goes up?
That is not, that is a rendition that the sides of that carport only come, the one that will be installed is only 4 inches, whereas that image shows about 18 inches of the side coming down.
Is it in this book? It is that horizontal.
Right, rather than,
So it's this
rather
thing, right?
than a cabin.
It is this A-frame style right here.
Without the curved panels on the side?
Yes.
That would be, well, I also have an opinion that is against it, but he is correct that our rules, as written here, do not prohibit it. So because of that, I will have to say a yay.
Yes. We're going to go ahead and do a roll call for a vote.
So this is a motion to approve the certificate of appropriateness to install a carport in the rear yard at 183 South 3rd. So motion and a second. Frank Myers. We're just taking a roll call vote on this motion.
The motion, yes.
To approve the
yeah.
certificate?
No, not to approve the certificate. I thought what you were asking, do I approve bringing it up for a vote? I thought we just did that, and we did vote. We had a tie vote.
We're taking a roll call vote.
And Leanne had an additional question.
Okay, it's
so-
just a roll call vote.
On approving the certificate. We have a motion to approve the certificate of appropriateness to install the carport in the
Yes.
rear yard at 183 South 3rd, and a second. So how do you vote?
No.
Donna Roush,
Yes.
Martha Patterson,
No.
Casey Benner,
Yes.
Leanne Woodvogel.
Yes.
Yes.
Motion carries 3-2-0.
Ready?
Yes, ma'am.
We are going to move on to new business tonight. It is SGHC 029-20 to receive a certificate of appropriateness to replace an exterior double doorway in the western or rear wall on the structure located at 183 South 3rd Street. Would you mind coming up to the podium to give us some information on that, please?
There's an existing glass and wood door there that when it was installed properly, and to reinstall it, some woodworking needs to be done to enhance the outside of the door. That door cannot be reinstalled in there because of some things that need to be done to it. So a slightly smaller door needs to go there. And we selected a door that we felt was fit our needs. Also was a wood and glass door that looks very similar to this door. It's a single door with dual panel on either side. It is the only door in the alleyway that you can see from the street that will not be a steel constructed door. All the historic buildings that are seen from the alley have steel doors rather than an appropriate door.
So I have a question. When you replace the door, you're going to shrink the sizing a little bit for the new one to fit?
Approximately 4 inches.
Okay.
It'd be basically just be reframed slightly smaller.
Okay.
And the existing trim will be removed and then
New trim.
replaced and repainted with the same color match.
I think it looks great.
I think it would be fine.
Yeah, I do too.
I would move to accept that
Okay.
certificate as presented.
So I have a motion
I
to
second.
accept
I second.
and a second. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Okay. Thank you. Okay, we are going to move on to SGHC 025-20 to receive a certificate of appropriateness to install a 6-foot wooden privacy fence around the southwest corner of the backyard of both properties at 242 Merchant Street and 252 Merchant Street. Do I have someone here to speak on that? If you could come to the podium and introduce yourself, please.
Hi, I'm Bob Robinson. I live at 242 Merchant Street. My neighbors live at 252. Our properties join. We share a driveway that goes from Merchant Street to the back of the property. It's been paved, and not paved, gravelled in the past with white gravel. When they took the new building down to build a parking lot there, our backyards are a lot more exposed than they used to be. We used to have a pretty private area back there, but now, there's cars parking there all the time. Plus, the parking lot is like at least a foot higher than our property, so, we feel like we're down in a ditch, and if you go in the back of our property, you have no privacy whatsoever. So my garage is back there, which has chemicals in it, has tools in it, has my cars in it, and I don't really like the feeling of having a bunch of people, if they're out-of-town people or anyone, parked in close proximity to where we park our cars at the property there. So we're proposing to put a fence just across the back part of our property, separating us from the parking lot. And it'll have to be 6 foot because we are down in a hole to the place. I would have put it 5 foot, but that wouldn't give me but 4 foot of clearance. So it'll be dog-eared and treated lumber just like all the rest of the little privacy fences you see. And like I said, just go around the back side that joins the parking lot.
Is the primary purpose aesthetics or security?
Pardon?
Is the primary purpose aesthetics, the appearance of it, or the safety of it?
Well, for us, it's the safety and privacy, but we wanted it to look like any other privacy fence in town, and there are a number of them, so.
I think it meets both criteria. I mean, you don't want people driving off that driveway you have.
And that is it has been a problem already. We haven't had a lot of tourists, as you know, during this time, but since our driveway goes right up to the parking lot, people, it's happened more than once, will park their cars and get out and they see our driveway and it goes over towards where the winery used to be. And they're gone, I was eating breakfast the other day, I have a little bay window, and here comes 4 or 5 people just moseying down the alley there. Now, I love tourists, don't get me wrong, but I'd just as well than walk a little bit more, go around my property.
Have you decided on what wood you'll use?
What wood?
Yeah.
All I know is, I think it'll be whatever J&L uses, he told me it'd be treated, that's all I know. It'd be dog use.
And will it be painted?
No, I don't plan to paint it.
So the drawing that we have shows a little bit of an existing wooden fence. Is that on your property or is that the neighbor's property?
What's that?
The existing wooden fence?
Oh, there's an old wooden fence that was there when we moved there. It's not on my property. It's about a foot off the boundary onto, I guess, the Woods property there.
Okay.
It used to go from my garage over to the building there to keep people from doing basically what we're saying now and to provide privacy. But I don't know who it belongs to. I'm going to find out from the people who owns it, and then I'll either incorporate it into our fence or just do away with it. And probably do away with it.
Okay, that's what I was going to ask was, are you going to butt up and connect to that or replace in front of, behind?
Well, I'd like to take it out and move it back on the property line.
Okay.
And I won't do that until I've talked to them, though.
Perhaps it's a home that's going to be gone.
Pardon?
I make a motion to approve.
I have a motion. Do I have a second?
A second.
I have a motion and a second. All in favor? Aye. Any opposed? Okay.
Oh, thank you very much.
Thank you.
Moving on to SGHC 026-20 to receive a certificate of appropriateness to place an exterior doorway in the western rear wall where a window currently exists and install an exit landing and stairway on the house located at 99 North Main Street.
I just want to insert here that in addition to the information you have on the application, there was an approval by Landmarks a matter of years ago to box in an existing doorway. It's not the exact same opening, but it's very near there. And now you're being asked, of course, to approve creating a new doorway. Sorry for that.
Okay.
Before we start asking questions, I want to congratulate you on the work that's been done there so far.
Thank you.
It's looking very nice.
I concur.
Really a
That's
big
incredible.
improvement.
Thank you very much.
You want to tell us who you are?
I'm Henry Humphrey, and you know what property I purchased. I live there too, so I'm pretty proud of it myself, And we've made a lot of progress. The person I propose to do this work is Mark Greither. He's the same person that's done all the woodwork and replacement, and it's been extensive. But the building is going to survive, and I think that's the most important thing. Do you want me to talk about the door, or do you want me to wait for questions?
You can tell us whatever you want.
Okay. Number one, that property has one entrance and one exit, and that's the front door. So what I would like to do is put a rear door in, which was there in the past, but has long since been covered over, some decades, I think, because there was a hallway that was built that butted right into it. And I discovered the original door, and the door that was covered is the exact same style as the original Dr. Hurdick's clinic door, the one just to the right of the porch, that old green with the H in it, the exact same door I have, and I'd like to put that in the rear of the building. So we'll have a front entrance and a rear entrance, which I think the fire department's gonna like that too.
So I did read the old landmarks that the window was made into a fire exit. Are you going to leave that, or will you?
It wasn't made into a fire exit. The fire exit, and I'm gonna say it, I shouldn't say this probably, but I'm gonna tell everybody. The fire exit to that house is underneath the staircase in the main hall. A hole was cut and an attic ladder was installed. So in the event of a fire upstairs, you would travel down to the first floor, you would pry open the basement door, you would pull down a ladder and hope you can get it down, go into the basement, and then go out the exit. So I think what I'm doing is I'm curing some problems here, you know?
I don't know.
So,
My only problem is the drawings are so sketchy that I can't really
Well,
see.
they were made.
I go on 100% with your purpose,
Yeah. yeah.
but I just can't, well, the one on the back building, not the fire escape. I understand why you want to do it.
Yeah.
But that sketchy little drawing, I'm not sure what the steps are
Well,
gonna
it's a
be.
door, and it's a little pad, porch,
Will that pad be
4x4.
covered?
Yes.
I mean, there's roof on it?
I don't know, I don't think so, probably not. It's just utilitarian, and it's not visible from the street in any way.
No.
But I want it to look nice, and it will enter out into the back, and then actually to the patio area, which will be nice to be used.
Well, that depressed area that's there now in the basement, I think, that's at least what I think I saw in the picture. Will that stay as an opening that can be opened?
Yes, it will be under that.
Okay.
Yeah, oh, well, that's necessary, it has to stay, yeah.
What
That's-
sort of construction will the platform be?
Wood, and it will match the front porch, whatever's
The platform
done.
and the steps and the...
Yes, uh-huh.
What
And it's
sort of
Mark
railings
Reither,
do you
he's-
plan?
Pardon?
What sort of railings do you plan?
Wooden.
I like the front.
How many steps are we, because I'm kind of
4.
like Frank, okay, so I was like, I'm not sure how high off the ground it's going to be. Okay, so just a landing 4 steps
Yeah.
coming down,
Mhm.
okay.
The fire, I mean, the fire escape, the need for it is not up to us, it's to the fire people.
I understand.
Our only concern is the appearance and what that appearance will have on the historic integrity of the structure.
I understand.
Does it come out of the window onto the roof and then down? Is that what you envision?
No, not at all.
It just,
No, as I said, it's only 4 steps, so if you picture, it's about this high off the ground. So it will just, the window will be cut out like that much, a door installed in the original trim and everything, and you'll go out onto a 4x4 patio, which is a little porch,
Yeah.
and then the steps will go down, and it matches right up with the, this
no,
was
I was
in
referring to
the,
the fire escape.
that is the fire escape.
I think, Mr. Myers, the existing plan that I gave you from the previous certificate
Yeah.
called for a fire escape out of the window, that was approved in 2005. That was not installed. Instead, a fire escape was installed under the stairs, down into the basement, and then come out the basement door. What Mr. Humphrey is...
Down a ladder.
Down a ladder.
Down a rope, down a
What
ladder.
Mr. Humphrey is proposing is to put a doorway back in, just not where it was 15 years ago.
Because it can't go where it was.
Right.
because it's built over from the exterior. See?
Looking at the drawings, I had the wrong idea of what you were doing. thought
I
you were
understand.
Trying to get them out of the second floor
Yeah,
down to the ground.
gotcha.
And that could be handled well, or it could be an absolute bad appearance.
Now,
But
concerning the second floor, there is a fire exit in a window, and it enters onto a roof, and it actually goes down. I mean, there's a metal rung ladder that goes with it, and someone my size wouldn't need it, but, you know, anybody would be fine with this ladder deal. But that's not what I'm talking about here. The fire escapes, as they sit, are pretty well, other than the fact there's no exit to the building.
okay, I misinterpreted.
That's okay, I understand.
Thank you for your work.
Nice.
I make a motion that we approve.
I'll second that.
I have a motion and a second. All in favor? Aye. Any opposed? Okay.
I'll place the certificate in the mail or drop it off to you here this week.
All righty, thank you so much.
Thank you, sir.
And thank you all, and nice to meet you, and have a good evening.
Thanks.
Thank
too.
you.
Okay, moving on. SGHC 027-20 to receive a certificate of appropriateness to install a 6-foot wooden privacy fence along approximately 75 foot of the southwest property line at 454 Robert Street. Do I have anyone here to speak on that? If you would come to the podium and introduce yourself, please.
I'm Greg Curtoys, and I would like to install this privacy fence because when I'm in my backyard, the dogs are always barking at me and I can't enjoy my backyard. I can't have company over because anytime somebody new comes over, they're always barking, and I thought if I put up a fence to block this out where the dogs can't see us, that we can enjoy our backyard better.
Do we have any questions on the fence?
I don't totally understand where it's going to be, but that's no big problem. But will any portion of it be on the main street there?
No,
It's all behind the,
all behind the house.
and it's facing the neighbor's fence?
Yes,
And
Which-
is there space between those two fences?
yes,
How
yes.
wide will that be?
It will be wide enough for me to maintain it with a lawnmower. It will not be on the property line. It will be enough room for me to push a push mower to maintain the grass.
And the main purpose to improve the appearance of your property?
Yes.
I'll make a motion, we approve as submitted.
I second.
I have a motion and a second. All in favor? Aye. Any opposed? Okay.
Saying I'll put that in the mail or drop it off this week.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
Okay, moving on to, are you ready?
Yes, ma'am.
SGHC 028-20 to receive a certificate of appropriateness to install a 3-foot black wrought-iron fence along 31 foot of the front property line at 28 South Main Street.
Applicant Miss June Ewing called this afternoon to apologize to the commission. Due to the pandemic, she doesn't feel safe coming into the building. She did give me a phone number if we wish to call her or have any questions for her. I can answer some, but she is available via phone if we would like to call her.
I would congratulate him on the flowers he's going to protect.
Oh, yeah.
It's a beautiful job. And I warn him that he's putting in a 6-foot fence, easily reached from the sidewalk. And he's got a nice little decoration on the top. Now, we put fence like that, not the same design, but around the cemetery. And we've done nothing but replace those
Those little
tops. And
finials
Now, this is-
so make sure the design is foolproof on taking those caps off.
This is 3 foot, not 6 foot, but yes.
Yes, I recognize
Okay.
that.
I think it would be appropriate for the age of the house, for the
And
area.
I provided you with a picture. It's hard to see. It's from the 1930s. There was an iron fence there at one point. Yeah.
I'm making a motion to.
I think it'll
approve.
be an asset to the
Oh, I
community.
think that'll look nice, yeah.
Did you catch that?
I have a
second that.
motion and a second.
Who was the second?
Donna, she seconded in the air to me.
Well, you know, y'all were talking.
I was watching. So I have a motion and a second. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Okay. Moving on to administrative approvals.
I have one administrative approval, and it is for repairing a stockade fence at 125 South Main. You may see that work occurring currently. That is the only administrative approval done this past month.
Okay. Any other business?
Not for mine.
Nope. Okay. Any public comments?
I was kind of tickled to see
Okay,
the
we can
federal
adjourn.
flag flying.
Oh, yeah,